Like many who are totally blind, I have non-24, a circadian rhythm disorder that can put your sleep-wake cycle out of sync with the 24-hour day. But I found out there's a new treatment available for non-24. It's called Hetlioz Tazimiltian, the first FDA-approved treatment for non-24.
The most common side effects of Hetlioz include headache, elevated liver enzymes, nightmares or abnormal dreams, and upper respiratory or urinary tract infection. These may occur more often in patients 65 or older. It may cause drowsiness, so limit your activity to preparing for bed. Hetlioz has not been studied, and it is not recommended for use in pregnant women, children, or people with severe liver problems. To learn more and to hear the full prescribing information, visit Hetlioz.com or call 844-241-2424. That's 844-241-2424.
Hetlioz is now available for non-24. Talk to your doctor today.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Fink's Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Fink's, their experienced staff specializes in brakes, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Fink's is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
Be ye seeking rare and valuable coins? Storm the castle, matey. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake, that is. Silver and gold coins, U.S. coins with free verbal offers, and they always be on the lookout for those rare U.S. coins. Set sail for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, Tuesday through Saturday, and always online at NewcastleCollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bickaveris.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Johnson, on this beautiful April 30th, last day of April, right here in the spring. Some good weather. Greg Bickaveris for Sports Scene, live right here on TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650. Of course, Sports Scene is an interview show each Wednesday from 12 to 1. Also, sports highlights on NNPSTV.com. Your home for CBS News. Glenn Beck, Laura Ingram, and the Admirals. Tell your friends about 1650. Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV. Thank you to the military and, of course, our great guest lineup as well. Sponsors on GJBTV.com, marketplace sponsors. And, of course, our guest lineup presented by Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. Our phone line presented by Old Town Tavern in Hampton. Sponsors this month, ending in April, of course. They'll all be back in May. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, Old Town Tavern, Fink's Car Care, of course, Newport News Greek Festival starts back up, as well as Battlefield Guns and Ammo. GJBTV.com. Of course, if you want to call, save the number 454-1650 for any week from 12 to 1 right here on TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650. Listen on your phone, laptop, computer, desktop, PC, whatever you want to. You got to love it. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650. I'm at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV. Great guest lineup today, of course. We have Jimmy Laycock, who is the head football coach of William & Mary, as well as Pete Joyner, former advisor to Sweet Pea Whitaker, right here on this beautiful Wednesday in Hampton Roads. Sports Scene continues after these messages.
Your family and their safety are your number one priority. Your home, your business, and quality of life provide peace of mind. Your security can be enhanced with the proper firearms and ammo from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. Never take anything for granted, whether you're at home or away. Call 757-410-7720, log on to battlefield-guns.com, and visit Battlefield Guns and Ammo at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Mark your calendar for May 29th to June 1st as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy authentic Greek food, desserts, beverages, Greek dancing, entertainment, arts and crafts, vendors, and much more. The Newport News Greek Festival is located on 60 Traverse Road, off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more information, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival, May 29th to June 1st. Opa! And welcome back right here to News Talk 1650. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650, presented by Southern Rustic Family Restaurant. Delicious food right there in the Chesapeake Square Mall. Give them a call at 465-7700. Delicious lunch and dinner. Go by and see Brandon Mines for some home-cooked meals. Again, the phone number is 465-7700 for Southern Rustic Family Restaurant. Well, this is a who's who of college coaches. Of course, we've talked recently to the Apprentice School head football coach, the Norfolk State head football coach, and of course we want to welcome the dean of coaches in Virginia, the head coach of William & Mary since 1980. As a kid, went to his games. We're talking about Jimmy Laycock. Coach, thanks for your time today.
Good morning.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Very good. Of course, let's recap the spring, of course, and you always want to look forward to the fall, but the spring is it's a good telling point.
Well, yeah, it usually is. I mean, you can only get so much done. You try to determine exactly what you want to accomplish in the 15 days. One of the first things we had to do is get 4 new coaches together on our staff and get them up to speed with what we're doing, and we got them all in here just as we started spring ball. So that was a little different, but I thought all that went really well considering that many new guys, and fortunately we have a lot of returning players, so that kind of helped.
How much does it help? Or you've been there so long, since 1980, of course, that you've had a lot of different assistants in the 80s, 90s, and 21st century, but this is a lot at one time, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it's probably more than we've ever had at one time. I mean, there's certainly been, there's turnover in your staff, but for the most part, our staffs have been fairly stable. We have got guys that have been with me for a good while, and some of the ones who had left for other positions had been with me for a good while. So, it's sometimes people think you just hire a coach for this position or a coach for that position, but it's like putting the pieces of a puzzle together, because you've got to look at the entire staff and the entire makeup and look at strengths and weaknesses and areas of expertise and all that, so you can balance the entire staff out. So that was the challenge. But we fortunately got very, very good coaches that were available, and we were able to get them here.
Talking right here on Sports Scene, right here on TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650. Talking to head coach Jimmy Laycock. And over the years, folks, he's had great players like Michael Clemens, Kenny Lambiot, Jonathan Grimes, Troy Keene, B.W. Wedd, David Murphy, Craig Argo. So many great players, Coach. It's almost like really an honor roll for each decade separately.
Well, yeah, it's pretty neat when you go back and think about all the players that we've had here and how, how they have developed while they were here. I think that's a good credit to the type of coaches that we've had here, because a lot of times people look at these players when they're 4th or 5th year and they say, "How in the world did you all get them to William & Mary?" And I said, "Well, not a whole lot of other people wanted them." For example, in 2004, Lane Campbell was National Player of the Year, and he came in here as a walk-on. We've done I think a very good job of keeping players in our program and developing them.
And, of course, you've always played tough teams over the years. You played Penn State, North Carolina, Indiana, Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia. I think you opened up with Virginia Tech this year, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We've always taken that as part of the makeup of our program, is that when we have players that come here, we want them to come here for the opportunity to get a great education, an opportunity to compete for championships, but also to test themselves once a year against a big opponent. And that's something that has been a major part of our program, and it's something our players remember. They remember those games for the for the rest of their lives, and it's a great college football experience to go to Lane Stadium and play, or go to Chapel Hill and play, or go like last year up to West Virginia and play.
And of course, you can recall, because when you were an assistant at Clemson, both times you played teams like that in a regular season, of course, as well at Citadel and Memphis State. So of course, I guess time, tradition carries on.
Yeah, well, Clemson was a little different.
Yeah.
We had some pretty good players there.
Right.
We could compete on the national level at that point in time. But I think what we've been able to do, we play one of those teams a year, and a few years ago we beat Virginia up there, and we've won a few of them. And I think for one game a year, last year West Virginia, we're tied with that with 3 minutes to go. So, we've shown that some of our better teams are able to compete one time a year against that level.
And we talked about it, too, on this show, and, of course, when I've interviewed you on TV before in the past, that was a special time there back in the mid-'80s, of course. Just go back real quick, Coach, and talk about that Penn State game back in '84. It's 30 years now since you played them, and, of course, you were way ahead of your time playing them, and Coach Paterno's teams back then were very solid.
Yeah, they were very, very solid. That was an eye-opening experience for all of it. But you see, even back then, I think that helped our programs, helped our players, because players come out of that game, say the Penn State game, with a degree of confidence. Sure, we got beat and all that, but they saw when they did things right and they executed and they played hard, they can compete against anybody. And you're up there in front of 80, 100,000, whatever it was at that time. But it's still a game of football, and you still got to do things the right way, and our players have learned that. Yeah,
and you're good friends with Ralph Friedgen, who was the former coach at Maryland. Now one of his former top assistants is now at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it just continues, and then I think it paid dividends too, Coach, because in '86, some of those players that were on the '84 team beat Virginia, including Kenny Lambiot.
Right, we had Michael Clemens and Kenny Lambiot back in those days, and that was a big one. And then that was a big win for us at that time. Seems like a long time ago, but in which it was. But then since then, we beat. Was it 2010 when we beat Virginia again up there? That was a significant win for our program. And again, those are games that players who were on part of those teams, they remember those games for forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, your team in '04 made the semis. The '09 team made the semis, of course. And the 2010 squad was excellent, too. And, of course, kind of a little bit of a dip last year, but I guess you expect them to start off strong, especially with Tech. Of course, you remember James Madison a few years ago did beat Virginia Tech. And, Coach, this is the time to get Virginia Tech. Their quarterback situation is totally up in the air for first time in a long, long time. I know they got skilled personnel, but their quarterback situation's always been pretty strong at Tech.
Well, it certainly has. Coach Beamer does a wonderful job over there. He's got a great program, and but we got to be concerned about our own program.
Sure.
We got some quarterback issues too that we got to get resolved. So we're more worried about that than we are what Tech's doing.
Well, let's talk about your a couple more moments with Coach Laycock here, right here on Sports Scene on News Talk 1650, TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650. How about your summer camp? It's always a big tradition. The kids and the community love it at Wayne Mary.
Yeah, we've had this will be the 21st year we've had the Colonial All-Pro Football Camp, and Nike helps us out a great deal with getting the pros in there, and Richard Sherman's the kind of the headliner this year from the world champion Seattle Seahawks, and it's been great. We've had some of the top players in the NFL here on campus, and it's been really neat for the young men to come to our camp. And in fact, we've had a lot of players now who have been at our camp who ended up coming to school here and playing football for us. So that's good. And it's good for the community. It brings a lot of interest here, and having all these pros from all over the NFL here is quite an experience.
Including guys like the one you coach, Mike Tomlin, probably the most visible one with the Steelers. You got to be proud of him.
Yeah, Mike stays in contact and comes back, and he'll do anything he can to help our program.
Well, let's talk about the schedule. Then you got Hampton, Norfolk State, and Lafayette. And, of course, always 6 competitive home games. I think people can always count on those 6 games at a beautiful facility. I know it's old, but still the center named after you as well has to be really a proud family moment.
Well, it's kind of humbling to go into a building and get your name on it, but at least they give me a parking spot, so that's all I really concern myself with. But it gives us an opportunity to do some things within the program that we want to do, so far as teaching our players and meetings and putting our players in a good working environment, as well as putting our coaches in a good working environment. And this year we got another 6 home games, and with the North, we've got some very good teams coming in here, some big time games here, and it's a great atmosphere. It's a great venue to play in, and I think our players take a lot of pride in playing well at home.
Absolutely, Coach, of course. And finally, the 2014 squad, is it showing any resemblance of any past teams as we wrap it up here?
Well, it's hard to tell about that. I know, last year we had one of the top defenses in the nation. We were leading the nation in a number of defensive categories, and we've got a lot of really good players off that defense coming back. And I think the big key is going to be us at quarterback next year, who steps in there and who's able to play the level we need to play in the CAA, because it's an extremely competitive league. But our players we won 7 ball games last year. It was a good, solid year, and it came very close to getting to a playoff berth. And I know our players are working hard in order to move that even forward next year.
Very consistent program, Coach Laycock, and I got to ask you this, because you're always on top of things, academics, athletics, and activities. Just what are your general thoughts about what's going on at Northwestern? A lot of these kids don't realize they're not going to be around 2 or 3 years from now, and the other kids in the future might not want to take on that burden.
I think that's a very dangerous situation that they're talking about. I mean, I think the players get a lot out of the college education and the scholarship that allows them to go to college and get a degree, and certainly they get dividends 40 years after they finish for what they were able to get with their college education. So I think it's been very good that way.
Yeah, I want to be remiss. Last thing, I promise. I would be remiss because he gave me an opportunity when I was a kid, and I'm talking about a dear mutual friend of ours who's passed away, Bob Sheeran. Just what did Bob mean to William and Mary?
Well, Bob was all William and Mary. I mean, there wasn't any question about that. You always knew how you stood with Bob, and William and Mary football was very, very close to him, and he was extremely supportive of our program. He did everything he could do to be involved, whether it was announcing, whether it was running the quarterback club, or whatever. And if there ever was a guy that bled green and gold, it was Bob Sheeran.
Well, August 30th is right around the corner. Good luck, and of course, we'll see you at the summer camp there, Coach.
All right, I appreciate it.
Have a great day. Okay, all right. The Tribe coach right there. Of course, the head football coach of William and Mary, Jimmy Laycock. Head coach Ken Johnson since 1980. I mean, how many people have had a job there for the same job for 35 straight years?
I can't think of anybody. Even my dad called it quits after 33.
Yeah, my dad was in the insurance business. I got to give him credit, 58 to 97. But then you look at Paterno, who we talked about. He was the head coach at Penn State from 1966 to 2011. Of course, he went out in a little bit of a scandal, but for the most part, he was a gentleman. And from 1950, Ken, to 65, he was an assistant. So he had one job for 62 years.
Wow. Of course, things are not as stable as they were back in those days. So you'll wonder if the people with the longevity that we've seen in the past would be able to hang in there that long these days.
Those were the days when milk and eggs were delivered to your door.
And you got a pension.
Exactly. So a lot of good stuff coming up. We have some more good stuff coming up. We'll come back. We'll take a break and come back with highlights after these messages. This is Sports Scene. For more, log on to gjbtv.com. Marketplace sponsors. We'll be back after these messages.
Old Town Tavern, in the heart of Phoebus, is your place for a great lunch and dinner. A local place in every sense of the word, specializing in fresh seafood, burgers in a basket, crab cakes, salads, appetizers, and much, much more. Open 7 days a week, Old Town Tavern has live music, pool tables, darts, HD TVs, in a spacious and pleasant atmosphere. They have daily lunch specials, live music, and entertainment. Find Old Town Tavern on Facebook and visit them at 31 East Mellon Street in the Phoebus section of Hampton, with plenty of great parking in the back. Call 251-2636. That's 251-2636. Serving seafood, sandwiches, salads, wings. You can't beat Old Town Tavern. Bringing good food and great people together in the Old Town of Phoebus. Old Town Tavern in Phoebus, the locals' choice.
Fink's Car Care is your place for all of your automotive needs. They handle state inspections, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, transmission service, radiator repair. They have a wide variety of tires, and when it comes to your car, they do it all. Visit their 2 locations at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth and 2236 South Military Highway in Chesapeake. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
Be ye seeking rare and valuable coins? Storm the Castle, matey. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake, that is. Silver and gold coins, U.S. coins with free verbal offers, and they always be on the lookout for those rare U.S. coins. Set sail for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, Tuesday through Saturday, and always online at NewcastleCollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Mark your calendar for May 29th to June 1st as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy authentic Greek food, desserts, beverages, Greek dancing, entertainment, arts and crafts, vendors, and much more. The Newport News Greek Festival is located on 60 Traverse Road, off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more information, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival, May 29th to June 1st.
Spring is back, and so are the Norfolk Tides. Catch the fun and excitement as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow, today. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for more information on season tickets, groups, ticket discounts, and Tides merchandise. And don't forget to follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and team information. Tides Baseball, minor leagues, major fun. It's now time for Greg's Highlights on Sports Scene, presented by DJBTV.com Marketplace Sponsors page.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us right here. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT 1650. Ken, you got to love the internet, first of all. It gives us so many different options. I'll just leave it at that, Ken. We don't need to go into details, but the internet streaming gives people so many different options to broadcast now.
And to find, take it with you in a variety of places.
Even on your phone, absolutely. GJBTV.com, archive shows. Click the YouTube link. This will be archived this time tomorrow. Don't forget to shop on the Marketplace sponsors, of course. Don't forget Remnant Radio coming up after this show as well. Save the date each Wednesday from 12 to 1 for Sports Scene. Right here on TuneIn.com, type in WHKT 1650. Save the date for the Newport News Greek Festival, May 29th to June 1st. NBA playoffs going on right now. The Major League Baseball schedule heating up. Kentucky Derby, Preakness all coming up. The Richmond race was great last weekend. Nice job by Fox covering it. And, of course, a special event that my dad and I always covered was the Preakness in Baltimore. Beautiful event that's aired on ABC and NBC over the years. And congratulations to my baby Maria right there, who was born last week, April 24th. That is my sister's daughter. Beautiful, beautiful girl, my niece, baby Maria, born last week, April 24th. And, of course, we got what teased me off a little bit later, our guests as well. We've got coming up Pete Joyner, former advisor to Sweet Pea Whitaker. And, of course, there's a big fight going on this weekend between Floyd Mayweather and, of course, Marcos Maidana. Excellent boxing match coming up on Showtime pay-per-view. Really looking forward to that on Saturday night. And, of course, the money these boxers make on pay-per-view. We talk about, like, this show right here is on TuneIn.com, Ken, on streaming. Kind of like a, a free service, but on-demand, live online. Pay-per-view is like on-demand, but you need a lot of money to watch it. But the participants get a lot of money for playing in it.
Oh, yeah. It's a win-win all the way around.
How about this beautiful weather we've had so far going into the traffic and the weather? I mean, today it's been beautiful, but whether it's cold or rain, we can't get consistency.
Well, for anyone that's new, and I know it's a very transient area, so for anybody new to the area that thinks that this has got to be global warming or global cooling or whatever Al Gore's calling it this week, no, this is normal. This is Tidewater. Some of the worst snows we've had were in April, and we've also had 90-degree weather in January. So welcome to Tidewater, where if you don't like the weather, just stick around for a while. It'll change.
You remember the big storm of March of '80, the big snowstorm?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, of course. Last weekend, got to get your thoughts, being a Virginia Beach kid, that it went pretty safe down at the oceanfront compared to last year.
Absolutely. We didn't go to the oceanfront. We were near there, the periphery, around the area. And there were more state police at the Wawa on Oceana Boulevard and Virginia Beach Boulevard than I think I've seen in my entire life. So there was a lot of police presence. There was plenty of notification ahead of time that there was going to be a large police presence. So I have to assume that if there were any troublemakers, and I think last year, as in the original Greek Fest, most of the troublemakers weren't the college students. Most of them were local yokels and some other folks. They weren't the college students. So I think maybe the word got out that it was not going to be tolerated, and those that were looking to cause havoc and create chaos just thought, well, we'll just pass this time.
And that Greek Fest, not to be mixed up for the Newport News Greek Festival, the Norfolk Greek Festival, that took place in '89, and it took a long time for Virginia Beach to recover, and the former mayor, Myra Obendorf, Ken.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was a stigma that still sticks to this day to some degree. There are a lot of local people that will still, at the drop of a hat, you mentioned Greek Fest, they don't mention anything about UPA or, having gyros and good food and hearing great music and culture. They immediately think of that event, sadly.
It affected the economy, and take it away with CBS News coming up.
Absolutely. CBS News coming up at the bottom of the hour with an update. Good news for the folks in Sandbridge. You can get in and out now. That's right. That truck that decided to make a barricade of itself is gone. Its history in the archives. 88 Color It gone. So you can get in and out on Sandbridge Road. We have one crash with injuries still in the works, though, in Virginia Beach. Princess Anne Road and Windsor Oaks Boulevard, also at Salem Road, that intersection there. But right now, no major backups or delays. We had a tricky morning because of the rain. A lot of cars sliding off the roads, or sliding into each other, or sliding the Jersey walls, and flipping over, too. We had a lot of overturned vehicles this morning. Let's not have that this afternoon. Be aware it's going to be raining again this afternoon, so exercise caution as you're heading out and around. Those scattered afternoon thunderstorms may be severe with downpours, high winds, lightning, just all the fun things to be driving around in. 72 for the high. We'll see more of that tonight with a low of 65, and guess what? More of that tomorrow with a high of 73. If we make it through all of that, the weekend doesn't look too bad. Partly cloudy skies for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Increasing temperatures, 69 on Friday, 68 Saturday, and 74 degrees on Sunday. Here's CBS
News Update. I'm Steve Kathan. Hundreds of people are trapped in their own homes, forced to the attic or the roof because of severe flooding in southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. Boats and jet skis are being used to get people out of the high water. At least one death is reported. Steve Huffman helped get to a motorist swept from his car in Mobile.
When we arrived on the scene, one of the firefighters hooked a rope to a safety belt and a life vest, took one out with him, and got the guy and the other crews, pulled him back to safety.
Florida Governor Rick Scott says it's a serious situation.
We have had severe weather in the Panhandle. We've had up to 22 inches of rain in the Panhandle.
Bill Pearson is with the relief effort going on in Florida's Escambia County.
One apartment complex, the entire first floor was flooded out, and those folks had to go stay at a Red Cross shelter.
The storm system is now rolling through northern Florida. CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan.
Your family and their safety are your number one priority. Your homestead and your business and quality of life can give you peace of mind, but there are some bad hombres out there. Keep it all safe with the proper firearms and ammo from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. You can't take anything for granted, whether you're at the ranch or out on the trail. Call 757-410-7720. Log on to battlefield-guns.com and visit Battlefield Guns and Ammo at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake.
Old Town Tavern in the heart of Phoebus is your place for a great lunch and dinner. A local place in every sense of the word, specializing in fresh seafood, burgers in a basket, crab cakes, salads, appetizers, and much, much more. Open 7 days a week, Old Town Tavern has live music, pool tables, darts, HD TVs, in a spacious and pleasant atmosphere. They have daily lunch specials, live music, and entertainment. Find Old Town Tavern on Facebook and visit them at 31 East Mellon Street in the Phoebus section of Hampton, with plenty of great parking in the back. Call 251-2636. That's 251-2636. Serving seafood, sandwiches, salads, wings. You can't beat Old Town Tavern. Bringing good food and great people together in the Old Town of Phoebus. Old Town Tavern in Phoebus, the locals' choice.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Fink's Car Care is your place for all of your automotive needs. They handle state inspections, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, transmission service, radiator repair. They have a wide variety of tires, and when it comes to your car, they do it all. Visit their 2 locations at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth and 2236 South Military Highway in Chesapeake. For more, log on to FinksCarCare.com and call 545-3573.
Mark your calendar for May 29th to June 1st as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy authentic Greek food, desserts, beverages, Greek dancing, entertainment, arts and crafts, vendors, and much more. The Newport News Greek Festival is located on 60 Traverse Road, off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more information, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival, May 29th to June 1st.
But first, let me take a selfie.
That's what the show is all about today, a selfie. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650. Listen online. Listen on your phone, laptop, device. Of course, News Talk 1650 AM as well for the radio. But today, TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650. Hope you enjoyed our first guest, Jimmy Laycock, the head football coach of William & Mary. It's a pleasure. We've had him on Sports Scene before in the past, on TV, on Sports Highlights on NNPSTV.com. In fact, his interview is still right on the archives on NNPSTV.com. On Sports Highlights. Let's welcome Pete Joyner. Pete, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Ray. How you doing today?
Very good, very good. Of course, you trained Sweet Pea Whitaker, a big matchup coming up this weekend. And talking about Showtime pay-per-view, right here is going to be a huge, huge match as well. Marcus Maidana versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. What type of training do you think Floyd Mayweather is doing leading up to this fight?
I think he's just doing the same thing he do every time that he comes out to put on a show. He's done all his work. The countdown week that he's in right now is just a relaxing time for him to do some things that he want to do to relax his mind and with his team.
And, of course, he's 45-0. Maidana's 35-3. Of course, Maidana's a lot younger. He's 30. Floyd's 37. But to me, Pete, this looks like no possible matchup. To me, I think Mayweather will win in less than 6 rounds. It's a 12-round boxing match. But what are the odds of it going 12 rounds? Slim and none.
That's great odds. But at the same time, a given day is given to all fighters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but from my perspective, I think it's just a learning lesson for Marcos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to get what he really needs to go on in his boxing career from Floyd, I think.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, you look at the person you trained, Sweet Pea Whitaker. But before we get to him, what are you doing day-to-day now? I know you had a big boxing exposition last year in Chesapeake. What are you doing day-to-day? Are you still training any boxers?
Yeah, I'm still training boxers. I've really started training disabled kids now. That's something that's been my passion for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I've started training them in the way of exercise through boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And we got another big show coming up that we're planning for. It's sometime in June. So you'll get the particulars and all the information you need.
Yep, talking to Pete Joyner right here, former trainer for Sweet Pea Whitaker. Sweet Pea Whitaker was in the Olympics. Of course, he had a record of 40 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. And, of course, he boxed a lot of great guys like Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, Sweet Pea Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez. Of course, so many great boxing matchups. And, of course, I remember the one in April of 94, of course, was Santos Cardona. And that was on HBO. And remember that song? Ken, Joy, and Pain. And you remember that too. And when I first saw Sweet Pea a few years ago, before we interviewed him on TV, he was at a local restaurant. I went up to him and said it. That was instant credibility because I was in his locker room with him as a production assistant with HBO, and that was a really unique event. And that was a bond. Sweet Pea didn't realize it at the time that me and him have 20 years later, and that's what that song, Joy and Pain, which you're hearing right now, is why I interviewed Sweet Pea. You know that, Pete?
Yes, that was our theme song.
I mean, I would update.
He thrives off that. That song was the song that really got him prepared in the locker room to do what he always do.
Yeah, and I was in the locker room that day. Keep it up, Ken. That's why I keep it up a little low, but not too loud over the interview. But we had that on, and I remember that song, and as Sweet Pea was training, he had it up, cranked up a lot higher than we do right now. But I went up to him and said it to him, Pete, and it was like, how do you remember that? I said, I was in the locker room with you, and that was like his face blew up. It was totally so happy to hear that, because you have to be in the inside to know that.
Yes, you do. I mean, a lot of people watch the fight, a lot of you come out of the tunnel and all that, but preparations for those type fights, man, it's a lot more intense than you think. You got to just get rid of yourself. You got to be two people when you are in this kind of business right here. You got to put yourself, preserve yourself away, and then you got to go out to compete.
Absolutely. And, of course, all right, let's talk about another boxer, Bernard Hopkins. 55 wins, 6 losses, 2, and 55, 6-2 is his record. I got to ask you about this, too, Pete. I mean, Sweet Pea, of course, is 50, but Bernard's 49, and I was dreaming that Sweet Pea would somehow come out and do one more boxing match. I know that's not going to happen, but you saw Larry Holmes way back in 2002 boxing Butterbean, but that's not in Sweet Pea's character, is it?
No, it's not. I'm gonna have to wake you up out of that dream, Greg.
I know, exactly.
But that's far fetched from what Pernell wants to do, and by him and I being so close, we kind of think alike, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking the same way he's thinking is, hey, it's done, it's over, you know. We just sit back and give some of these young kids some of this knowledge and talent that God have given us, and ride on off into the sunset.
Well, what motivates Hopkins at 49 to still want to go at it?
Hopkins is more on the business side of it now, you know, so that's another leaf on life for him, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what's keeping him going, but Bernard has always been that type of fighter that is a journeyman. You know, he's going all the way to the end as far as he could go.
Right.
And I respect Bernard, and I like him because he's a good fighter. He uses his mind. That's why he's been in the game so long. For young fighters out there that's listening now, yeah, it's good to be in shape, but you have to be able to think when you're in that ring, and that's what Bernard does so good.
Yeah, talking to Pete Joyner, former trainer and advisor for Sweet Pea Whitaker, Greg Picaveras. This is Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1 on News Talk, 1650 AM on the radio, and also tunein.com. Type in WHKT. This will be archived on YouTube the next day as well. And, of course, you talk about boxing and the health of it. It's funny you talk about football and all the concussions, Pete. Football, at least they got helmets. Boxing, there are no helmets. I mean, you've seen some really bloody matches over the years.
Oh, yes. As I train now as the amateur fighters, and they fight and box with their headgear on. And I tell them, I say, you know, you got to be prepared for when you take that headgear off and go in that ring and fight without it. It's a different story, you know. It's a totally different story, and the young kids are with the concussions now. They're really going to have to tighten up on that football because it's hard to get around it, and it's a contact sport.
Yeah, it's really dangerous, too. And a final few questions for you, Pete. And you look at some boxers, some came out without any issues, like Larry Holmes. Then others, like Muhammad Ali, he's still suffering today. Sad.
That's just, in this sport right here,
sure.
You love it so much that you're willing to take whatever come with it, you know. And these guys knew the danger of this sport when they got into it. And their thing was to finish the race. And whatever came along the way, they was willing to take it. And now they got it, and you don't hear them complaining.
Right. And, of course, this was just a movie, but very popular back, you know, in the 80s, and, of course, before that with Rocky. But you got to laugh, too. Yes, he was a good athlete, Sylvester Stallone. He wouldn't have lasted 5 seconds with Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes would have annihilated.
You got to give him that, you know what I mean?
Larry Holmes would have annihilated Sylvester Stallone, annihilated him.
Larry Holmes beat most of the guys that the average fighter could never be in there 2 seconds with.
Exactly.
You know, so you can't really compare a real fighter against a movie, actor or something like that. They're just not built like that. Those guys that you see in that ring has been doing it so long that they're so tough and mentally tough that it's nothing your actor can really do with those guys.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's boxing, of course, he's a big time. He goes to a lot of Lakers-Clippers games. He's got a condo right there by the in Los Angeles. But you remember his one of his relatives, Roger Mayweather, because he boxed Sweet Pea.
Yes, he did. That was one of the fights that you see on the highlights. If you go on YouTube.
Sure.
Fought Roger. Roger's a good fighter. I think Roger kind of overlooked Pernell.
Yeah.
Which a whole lot of them did. But Roger got in there and stopped doing what he used to do to win his fights and fell into Pernell's fight, and Pernell just picked him apart.
Yeah, the best events ever in Hampton Roads were watching Sweet Pea Whitaker box. And sometime this summer, Pete, we're going to get you and Sweet Pea both here in the studio. We're just going to reminisce for the whole hour, okay?
Oh, that would be lovely. I would love to do that.
Okay, my friend, of course. How can people get a hold of you if they want to talk any promotions?
Well, you can, I'm a personal person, so you can call my cell phone, 757-714-0906. Or you can email me at smpboxing@yahoo.com.
Do you still get passionate when you watch a fight? When you watch, let's say, Maidana versus Mayweather, it still gets your juices flowing. And, just a little bit, Pete, I said this to Sweet Pea, that he has a little bit of Mayweather and a little bit of Sugar Ray in him, and Pete says, nope, they have a little bit of me in them. Especially about...
I got to agree with that 100%. Because, Flora coming up as a young man, we were... the first camp he ever went to.
Right.
That was when the Olympics was, when Zab Judah and Floyd and Zaire Rahim, all of them was preparing. So all those guys, those young guys was in our camp watching Sweet Pea. Pete would just put them in the ring and just show them different things and the style. They love the way Pernell boxed. And that's why now you see some of that in all those fighters.
Absolutely. And, of course, HBO and ABC covered a lot of those matches. I remember my dad went to the one in Hampton Coliseum where it snowed. I was there. My sister was there. People came out in the snow to see Sweet Pea box.
That night it was a storm outside and inside.
Exactly.
Preparations was great. Everybody did their job. That was on Team Whitaker, and we came out victorious.
There's a lot of sporting events on TV, Pete, but there was nothing like a Mike Tyson fight, a Sweet Pea fight, a Larry Holmes fight, a Floyd Mayweather fight. People still like to watch big-time events like that, whether it's on TV, radio, or pay-per-view.
Yeah, unfortunately for the people that just started watching, that they missed all those big fights and getting prepared and having fight nights and fight parties and all that stuff. It just would never be the same again. I mean, I just miss it. The big guys are gone. I love the heavyweight fights.
Yeah. Well, all the best to you, my friend, and we'll talk to you down the road this spring and summer.
Thanks, Greg. God bless.
Always a pleasure. All right, Pete Joyner right there, Ken Johnson from Hampton Roads. He trained and advised Sweet Pea Whitaker. Big-time match coming up this weekend on Showtime pay-per-view. Floyd Mayweather, of course, 45-0 against Marcos Maidana, 35-3. But anytime, Ken, that Sweet Pea boxed here locally, it was an event.
Absolutely. And even before he went to the Olympics, and even before, I guess, the national major media got a whiff of what he was all about, the local people knew. The word got out. It's like, you got to check out this guy.
We all know about the oceanfront, too. The best place in Virginia Beach, of course, is the oceanfront. Nothing like taking a dip, and you'll be able to do that very soon, of course. Lynn Haven Fishing Pier, and, of course, Aunt Annie's Pretzels. Perfect Pretzel go by Greenbrier Mall. Also, of course, Chesapeake Square Mall, Patrick Henry Mall. Great pretzels on Annie's, but right there in Greenbrier is the best. Right there. Go by and see the great staff over there. Ken, we're going to come back with our next guest. And, of course, a little bit later, what teased me off? Always something does, especially today.
Your family and their safety are your number one priority. Your homestead and your business and quality of life can give you peace of mind, but there are some bad hombres out there. Keep it all safe with the proper firearms and ammo from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. You can't take anything for granted, whether you're at the ranch or out on the trail. Call 757-410-7720. Log on to battlefield-guns.com and visit Battlefield Guns and Ammo at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake.
Mark your calendar for May 29th to June 1st as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy authentic Greek food, desserts, beverages, Greek dancing, entertainment, arts and crafts, vendors, and much more. The Newport News Greek Festival is located on 60 Traverse Road, off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more information, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival, May 29th to June 1st.
Opa! Be seeking rare and valuable coins? Storm the Castle, matey! Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake, that is. Silver and gold coins, U.S. coins with free verbal offers, and they always be on the lookout for those rare U.S. coins. Set sail for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, Tuesday through Saturday, and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. Spring is back, and so are the Norfolk Tides. Catch the fun and excitement as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow, today. Log on to norfolktides.com for more information on season tickets, groups, ticket discounts, and Tides merchandise. And don't forget to follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and team information. Tides Baseball, minor leagues, major fun. Be seeking rare and valuable coins? Storm the Castle, matey! Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake, that is. Silver and gold coins, U.S. coins with free verbal offers, and they always be on the lookout for those rare U.S. coins. Set sail for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, Tuesday through Saturday, and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles.
Old Town Tavern, in the heart of Phoebus, is your place for a great lunch and dinner. A local place in every sense of the word, specializing in fresh seafood, burgers in a basket, crab cakes, salads, appetizers, and much, much more. Open 7 days a week, Old Town Tavern has live music, pool tables, darts, HD TVs, in a spacious and pleasant atmosphere. They have daily lunch specials, live music, and entertainment. Find Old Town Tavern on Facebook and visit them at 31 East Mellon Street in the Phoebus section of Hampton, with plenty of great parking in the back. Call 251-2636. That's 251-2636. Serving seafood, sandwiches, salads, wings. You can't beat Old Town Tavern. Bringing good food and great people together in the Old Town of Phoebus. Old Town Tavern in Phoebus, the locals' choice.
Spring is back, and so are the Norfolk Tides. Catch the fun and excitement as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow, today. Log on to norfolktides.com for more information on season tickets, groups, ticket discounts, and Tides merchandise. And don't forget to follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and team information. Tides Baseball, minor leagues, major fun. Your family and their safety are your number one priority. Your homestead and your business and quality of life can give you peace of mind, but there are some bad hombres out there. Keep it all safe with the proper firearms and ammo from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. You can't take anything for granted, whether you're at the ranch or out on the trail. Call 757-410-7720. Log on to battlefield-guns.com and visit Battlefield Guns and Ammo at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake.
All All right, welcome back right here to TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT 1650 Sports Scene. Right here for more, log on to GJBTV.com. Don't forget the Dr. Mary V. Bickaveras Memorial Tennis Tournament will be on Cox Cable 47, 517 in Newport News. For more, log on to NNPSTV.com. Sports Scene every Wednesday, News Talk 1650 AM. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT. One of our great sponsors, Tommy, right there from Mona Lisa's in Ocean View. What's up in Ocean View, Tommy?
What's going on, Greg? How you doing?
Good, my friend. Tomorrow is May. I know you got a lot of good promotions coming up, a lot of great specials. What's the dinner special tonight?
Oh, man, we got the great lasagnas going on tonight.
Absolutely.
Got lasagna, breadsticks, garlic bread, salad, drinks for like $12.95.
You can't beat it, of course. And people right there at Tommy, it starts with the lunch during the day, then it goes to dinner, then the entertainment on the weekends. Talk about some of the entertainment you got coming up.
Oh, like tonight we got karaoke going on every Wednesday. You know, a lot of people like to sing in Ocean View, try to throw a different vibe in Ocean View, come out, sing a song, have a couple drinks, have a good time, meet new people. It's a great time on Wednesday night.
And Tommy, tell the people of Virginia Beach they can come to Ocean View too, right, Tommy? You have everybody coming there, of course, right?
We got people from Hampton. We get a lot of love from Virginia Beach with the new houses coming up. I'm talking about it's like a whole new entire neighborhood in Ocean View. Ocean View turned into East Beach now.
Yeah.
Not so much Ocean View anymore. It's a great spot to be at now.
And I got to always give you a hard time about our good friends at Grandview. They can come by there tonight too, right, Tommy?
You know Grandview is always welcome.
The only two views in Hampton Roads, Grandview and Ocean View.
Ocean View, that's right.
That's it. Greg Bickaveras talking to my good friend Tommy. You've known him for a long time over at Mona Lisa's Pizza in Ocean View. Tommy, give us your Facebook and website.
Mona Lisa Pizza, OV. At AOL.com. That's our email. And at MonaLisaPizza.com is the Facebook.
Yep, of course. Great pizza, great pasta, great subs, great burgers. Tom, your burgers are second to none.
Oh, the burgers. We started making our own burgers here. With nothing's frozen. We make everything fresh.
Yep.
Right from ground beef. We put our special sauces in it, and it's just a good combination.
Yep, 362-0200. Tommy's a great guy. Keep on all the good work. Say hello to your family. Tommy, we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. All right, Tommy right there from Mona Lisa's in Ocean View. It's all about the community. Ken, let's get to What Tees Me Off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
All right, Ken, people who need to take medicine for everything. Sometimes it's valid, other times it's just mental. I've got, especially this time of the year, Ken, about allergy season.
Oh, yeah.
It never seems to be a guy thing. I'll just leave that alone.
And every doctor will blame it. You could have lung cancer. You could have a broken foot, and they can say, it's an allergy.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
The Lakers this past season, Swaggy P, really, that's your best player. If you saw him play, he only plays offense, rarely defense. Knicks fans, remember this. Phil Jackson is the boss now. He's the president. Rule number 1, Phil is always right. Rule number 2, look at rule number 1. Yeah, Ken, it's funny to compare business hours to weekend hours. Business hours, oh my goodness, we're in a rush. Got to get the email sent out. You know, the traffic is really bad. Weekends, totally different mindset. People still drive like maniacs, but there is a huge difference you can tell from business hours to nighttime and also weekends.
Oh, yeah. It's not quite as manic. Except unless someone's trying to get to a restaurant before it closes.
You don't see it as much as you used to, but you still see people throwing out cigarette butts while they're driving. And then, we always talk about texting and driving or calling and driving, but look, cigarette butts on the roads, really littering. I can't stand it.
Cigarette butts and bubble gum and chewing gum. Kids, if you smoke, the world is not your ashtray, and if you chew gum, the world is not your trash can. Somebody eventually is going to have to pick that up.
Or step on it and mess up their shoes. Public transportation, Ken, is so sad, whether you're in Virginia Beach or Newport News, wherever. You see people at these bus stops literally waiting for hours. They look at their car like they're dreaming that it might be the bus to pick them up. And we talk about public transportation. It's pretty good in D.C. and New York and places. But here, I'll just say one word, whether it's the bus or the tide, it's just one word, slow.
And the sad thing is, a lot of people that work at the shipyards of the naval base have to be at work at 6 o'clock or before, sometimes 5:30, 5:45. Well, guess what time the buses start? 6 o'clock.
Exactly.
So you can't even get there from here.
Yeah, and the tide is like a little train. But anyway, Ken, great show like always. Want to thank our guest, too. Of course, Jimmy Laycock, head football coach of William Mary, Pete Joyner, former advisor to Sweet Pea Whitaker, and also Tommy right there from Mona Lisa's in Ocean View. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Marketplace sponsors, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. This will be archived, also past shows as well. And, of course, all the great things on radio and TV, like always, Ken, next Wednesday from 12 to 1, right here on Sports Scene. For Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Bicaveros. We'll talk to you soon.
Still waiting for that maglev train to float. Gonna float. Yeah, right. Worked really good at ODU, didn't it? Anyway, coming up on 1 o'clock, CBS News and Remnant Radio are up next. Good news for the folks in Sandbridge who are trying to get to or out of Sandbridge. That tractor-trailer truck that made itself a barricade earlier this morning is up and gone. History, the Sandbridge Road has been reopened. You can get in and out once again. Just took a look around the traffic a little while ago. Don't see any major incidents, no major crashes to report, at least on the major roads or on the interstates, and no bridge openings on the schedule. Traffic is moving along pretty good. Now, that may change. We saw a lot of crashes this morning because of the morning showers, people sliding all over the place. We got some afternoon showers and thunderstorms coming up.